Everybody's celebrating. The whole internet is screaming that Messi just crowned his successor. Hand on heart, they're reading it wrong. Completely wrong. Because that wasn't a compliment. That was a warning. A quiet little death sentence dressed up as praise. And you were all too busy clapping to hear it. See, Messi doesn't talk. He doesn't do interviews. He doesn't hand out gold stars to kids who get lucky for one season. So when this man, the greatest reader of a football pitch who ever lived, looks at a 20-year-old and says, "That boy plays with his head," you don't cheer. You get scared. Because Messi just pointed at something the modern game has been quietly executing for years. And the club holding the knife? It's the one that made him. His name is Nico Paz. And in the next 10 minutes, I'm going to show you why the best thing that ever happened to him might also be the thing that destroys him. Now, before the comments fill up, I don't care about his stats. I don't care that he outscored some expected goals number that a computer spat out. Numbers are for people who need permission to have an opinion. What Messi saw has nothing to do with a spreadsheet. He saw a species. A type of footballer that the modern game has spent 15 years quietly hunting to extinction. The playmaker who slows the ball down instead of sprinting past it. The number 10 who thinks before he runs. The kind of player Messi himself was. Before the world decided football should be played at 100 miles an hour by athletes instead of artists. And here's the part nobody wants to say out loud. The club most desperate to kill that player off is Real Madrid, the very same machine that's now being told to bring him home. So this isn't a transfer story, it's a collision. On one side, Messi's vision of how the game is supposed to be played. On the other, a survival machine that has no use for a thinker. Stick with me. Because by the end of this, that one little quote stops sounding like a blessing and starts sounding like a man watching his own art form get buried. So let's talk about the numbers everyone's waving around. 12 goals this season. Expected goals, 7. He beat the model by 5. And the fanboys lose their minds. Generational, world class. The next big thing. I'll be the one to ruin the party. Because I've watched this movie before. Beating your expected goals by 5 doesn't always mean you're a genius. Sometimes it just means you got hot. The computer said most of his shots had an 8% chance of going in. And they went in anyway. Brilliant? Maybe. Or maybe that's a bubble. And bubbles burst. Next season the ball stops dropping. The numbers crash back to earth. And the same crowd that crowned him will be the first to bury him. That's the honest take. That's what regression to the mean should tell you. But here's the thing the doubters can't explain away. And this is where I have to stop. And be fair. Nico Paz is not a striker. He's a midfielder. A forward gets fed. Someone hands him the chance on a plate. Paz? He starts 30, 40 yards from goal with a wall of bodies in front of him. And he has to manufacture the shot before he can even take it. Look at the map of where his goals come from distance, from impossible angles, from free kicks, from the places where luck doesn't live. You can flatter your way to an 8% goal. You cannot flatter your way into inventing the space to take it. That's not a hot streak. That's the rarest skill in the modern game. And it's the exact same skill one specific man built his entire career on. Which brings us to the real question. Where does a kid even learn to play like this? The answer is a country. Argentina. They have a name for the way they play football down there. La Nuestra. Our way. And at the heart of it sits one position that the rest of the world has basically abandoned. The enganche. The classic number 10. The conductor. The one who doesn't chase the game. He bends it to his will. And the bloodline is sacred. Maradona. Riquelme. And the man Messi himself has called his idol more times than I can count. Pablo Aimar. This is the philosophy Nico Paz inherited. Not a system. A belief. The belief that a match is not won by who runs the most. It's won by the man who's already scanned the space before the ball arrives, who sees the next 3 seconds while everyone else is still living in this one. Now here's where I stop being polite. Football didn't lose the enganche because he stopped working. The enganche worked. We killed him on purpose. The game traded thinkers for sprinters, artists for athletes, because a midfield engine is easier to coach, easier to sell, and easier to replace. We looked at the most beautiful player on the pitch and decided he was too slow for the spreadsheet. And we executed him, quietly, without a single tear. So when Messi looks at Nico Paz and sees the ghost of Aimar walking again, that's not nostalgia. That's a man watching the last member of a dying species refuse to go extinct. And it gets sharper, because Aimar isn't some retired legend gathering dust. He's right there, on Scaloni's coaching staff, with the national team. The old master standing beside the heir, which leaves us with the one question that breaks the whole fairy tale wide open. If this kid is the keeper of the most sacred role in football, why on earth does Real Madrid not want him? So let's finally answer it. Why doesn't Madrid want the most gifted thinker of his generation? Because this Madrid doesn't think, it hunts. Look at how they're built, a midfield engineered like a power plant, designed to do one thing: win the ball back and launch it forward, vertical, violent, straight to Vinicius and Mbappe. It's not football. It's a counterattack with a crest on it. There's no room in that machine for a man who wants to hold the ball and breathe. And Messi, he diagnosed this before any of us. Listen to what he actually said. He said Paz fits Argentina because, and these are his words, he likes to have the ball. Read that again. That's not praise. That's a diagnosis. He was telling you in plain sight exactly which teams would love this kid and exactly which one would suffocate him. Now here's where the story turns from sad to dangerous. 2 seasons, no major trophy, and a president who does not know how to lose quietly, so Florentino Pérez panics. And he reaches for the one name that always means control: Mourinho. And understand what that means. When José Mourinho walks into a dressing room, the very first thing he murders is freedom. Not the team's weaknesses, freedom, improvisation, the right to try something beautiful and fail. He doesn't see the artist Messi sees. He sees raw material, a problem to be disciplined. He genuinely believes he can take a purist and break him, bend him into a soldier in his machine for survival. So put it together. On one side, Messi, pointing at this boy and saying, protect what makes him special. On the other, Mourinho, sharpening the knife to cut that exact thing out of him. That's the collision, not a transfer, not a contract. A war over what football is even for, and that quiet little compliment Messi gave. By now, it doesn't sound like a blessing at all. It sounds like a man watching the execution coming and being powerless to stop it. Now, if you think I'm exaggerating, that no club would really be stupid enough to throw away a brain like that, let me leave you with one name, and then I'll let you decide. Toni Kroos. Kroos was never fast. He never flew into tackles. He never pressed like a maniac for the cameras. He played the entire game with his head. He dictated the tempo. He slowed the match down when it begged to be slowed. He protected the ball like it was the last one on earth. A purist, hiding inside the body of a German. The living, breathing proof of everything Messi has been trying to tell us. Now here's the timeline. Sit with it. In 2024, Messi said it out loud, that Paz understands the game, that he loves the ball. The exact same qualities, the exact same DNA, and that same year, Real Madrid lost Toni Kroos, the one man in that entire squad who played football the way Messi was describing. Gone, and the machine didn't even slow down to mourn him. A coincidence? Maybe. Maybe Madrid just got unlucky. Or maybe, and this is what keeps me up at night, maybe this club has a pattern. Maybe it doesn't lose its thinkers by accident. Maybe it sheds them on purpose every few years, like a snake that's outgrown its own intelligence. So here's where I hand it to you. Messi sees an artist worth protecting. Mourinho sees a soldier worth breaking. And history. History is sitting right there in Toni Kroos, whispering how this usually ends. Tell me I'm wrong. Drop your verdict in the comments because the smartest football minds in the world watch this channel. And I want to hear yours. And if you're brave enough to follow the kind of takes that don't care about going viral, subscribe. The next one might just start an argument